OnePlus is at a crossroads. The company that began with exciting flagship killers is now better known for its commonplace budget phones rather than flagships, but the OnePlus 11 is finally a chance to change that. The OnePlus 11 is a new and refined look with a gorgeous round camera system and a slew of improvements under the hood, most of which are powered by the impressive new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip. It also has the insanely fast charging speeds that OnePlus is known for, as well as features like the alert slider. So, can the OnePlus 11 finally compete with big dogs like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Google Pixel 7 Pro? Let's find out. A little disclaimer, our sample is based on the release of the OnePlus 11 in China. The phone's global version will be unveiled on February 7, 2023. The OnePlus 11 is only available in one size. It's a big phone with a 6.7-inch screen, but it's not as wide as a Galaxy Ultra. The design is mostly similar to the OnePlus 10 Pro, with a glass back and an aluminum frame, and the familiar alert slider on the side, also known as the mute switch, which is extremely useful. The power button and the alert slider are on the right, while the volume controls are on the left. A USB-C port is located on the bottom, only USB 2.0 speeds. The dual loudspeakers have received a welcome upgrade with dual submagnets and the NLC low-frequency algorithm, all of which are fancy words for improved audio quality. The phone is available in two colors, green and black. The green has a smooth glass finish, while the black has a new type of coating that glimmers when light hits it at certain angles. You're looking at a 6.7-inch OLED screen that's slightly tapered on the sides. The resolution is 1440p for extra crisp detail, and it supports a dynamic refresh rate ranging from 1 Hz to 120 Hz thanks to LTPO 3.0 technology. If you use the always-on display function, the 1 Hz option is ideal because it consumes less power than the previous option. OnePlus has not revealed the panel technology, but unofficial sources claim that it uses the older Samsung E4 OLED panel rather than the newer E6 panels. This is a minor compromise in comparison to other new 2023 phones, and it should result in screen color cast that isn't quite as good as on the latest generation, as well as lower peak brightness than higher-end 2023 flagships. The OnePlus 11 has an optical in-screen fingerprint scanner for biometrics. OnePlus has always had some of the industry's fastest fingerprint scanners, and we don't expect that to change with the 11. You'll also have face unlock via the front camera, which isn't a 3D secure type of Face ID, but it's still nice to have. It's also worth mentioning that OnePlus brings a brand new vibration motor, 67% larger than the previous one it had, and it humbly calls it the king of Android motors. This allows for delicate haptics while typing while not missing calls or notifications. Furthermore, for the first time, you will be able to experience double vibration, which will be especially useful in games. The OnePlus 11 is said to have equaled or even surpassed the iPhone 14 Pro in the three critical measurements for the haptic motor, which are the amount of vibration, start-stop time, and vibration strength. The OnePlus 11 features a redesigned camera system that appears large and impressive from a distance, but upon closer inspection, you will notice some very strange decisions were made with this camera. The camera bump proposes a 50-megapixel main camera, Sony IMX890 f1.8, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera Sony IMX581 f2.2, a 32-megapixel 2x zoom, Sony IMX709 f2.0, up to 20x digital zoom, and a 16-megapixel front cam ISOCELL 3P9. You get a 50-megapixel main camera, but OnePlus appears to have chosen the Sony IMX890 sensor, which other phone makers use for their ultra-wide cameras. It is in no way comparable to the 1-inch Sony IMX989 sensor used by Xiaomi and Vivo. The 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera sensor can focus as close as 3.5 centimeters, allowing for some interesting macro shots. Last but not least, the third camera in this system has a 2x zoom lens, which is ideal for portrait photography. Portrait modes of 1x and 2x are available in the camera app. The 1x simulates a 3.5 30mm Hasselblad XCD lens, while the 2x simulates a 2.8 65mm Hasselblad XCD lens with cool swirly bokeh. This appears to be an excellent portrait setup, and we are delighted to see the return of this underappreciated 2x lens. Those who want to zoom in further and with higher quality may be disappointed by the OnePlus 11, which lacks a dedicated long-range zoom lens. OnePlus doesn't have a stellar camera reputation, but it has consistently impressed us with its emphasis on performance and speed. The OnePlus 11 builds on that speed foundation. It features the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, which may go down in history as one of Qualcomm's best. Not only that, but if you go for the beefed-up versions, you can get the OnePlus 11 with as much as 16 GB of RAM, giving it performance comparable to that of an Asus ROG phone. A large graphite heat sink keeps everything cool while gaming. The phone is also well suited to gamers. More than 100 mainstream games can be played at 120 frames per second, with higher resolution and HDR game quality than the native quality settings. OnePlus also includes a game frame stabilization engine called HyperBoost 2.0, which ensures high and stable frame rates in games. This is truly remarkable. All OnePlus 11 models include UFS 4.0 storage. This newer storage standard significantly improves read-write speeds and allows for smaller chips. UFS 4.0 read speeds are double those of UFS 3.1, reaching up to 4,200 MB per second for read and 2,800 MB per second for write. The RAM on the OnePlus 11 is also of the faster LPDDR5X variety, bringing a 33% speed boost and 20% energy efficiency over the previous generation. We notice that you get a burst of gaming performance at first, outperforming even the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but that only lasts about 3 minutes before throttling kicks in and the score drops to levels much closer to the OnePlus 10 Pro. So far, we've only seen the Chinese version of the OnePlus 11, which has different software and bands than the global version. We recommend that you wait for the global release rather than attempting to import this model because it lacks critical capabilities for the global market. On February 7th, the global version will be unveiled. The Chinese model will not be sold globally, but some specialized traders may be able to import it from Asia. Keep in mind that those Chinese OnePlus models typically have different software with Chinese bloatware and different cellular bands, so you may be unable to use proper 5G on such a phone. The OnePlus 11 will come with Android 13, but the skin on top will vary depending on the model. The Chinese model will run ColorOS 13, while the international model will run Oxygen OS. The OnePlus 11 battery has a capacity of 5,000 mAh, which has become the de facto standard for large-sized Android flagship phones. The phone's incredibly fast charging speed, on the other hand, is out of the ordinary. The maximum charging speed is 100 watt, which is an improvement over the 80 watts supported by the 10 Pro. That means that the OnePlus 11 will gain a 50% charge in 10 minutes and a full charge in only 25 minutes. OnePlus promises that, despite the fast charging speeds, there will be no rapid degradation of battery health, and that a battery should last around 4 years before it needs to be replaced, which is twice as long as competitors. Of course, this is not a world record. That honor is currently held by Xiaomi and its 210-watt charging system, full charge in under 10 minutes. However, this will be one of the fastest charging phones to hit the US market, so it's worth noting. The OnePlus 11 does not support wireless charging, but with these wired charging speeds, we don't think it's a big deal. The OnePlus 11 is the company's flagship phone for 2023. There is currently no OnePlus 11 Pro or 11 Ultra, but we are hearing rumors that such a model will be released later this year. But nothing official. Previously, rumors suggested that the OnePlus 11 would be dubbed the OnePlus 11 Pro. The OnePlus 11 comes in 3 storage RAM configurations, but the rest of the specs and features are the same: 12 or 16 GB of RAM and 256 or 512 GB of storage. The prices of the international OnePlus 11 models have yet to be announced. The global price of the OnePlus 11 is still unknown, but based on the price in China, this model will be significantly less expensive than the Galaxy S23 Ultra and iPhone 14 Pro, and may even undercut the Google Pixel 7 Pro. When comparing the Galaxy S23 Ultra to the OnePlus 11, the OnePlus is less expensive, not as large, and has faster charging, whereas the Galaxy has a more versatile camera system with a longer zoom range, the S Pen, and the Samsung Experience interface. When comparing the OnePlus 11 to the Pixel 7 Pro, the OnePlus is expected to be roughly the same price, but it has a faster processor, is a better device for gaming, has faster charging, and can capture better-looking portrait shots. The Pixel, on the other hand, gets Android updates on the first day, has its own quirky UI that many people like, has a slightly better camera system overall, and has a few interesting features like call screening and excellent voice recognition. When comparing the OnePlus 11 versus iPhone 14 Pro, the OnePlus has the advantage of being smaller and less expensive, as well as having faster charging and the open Android system, whereas the iPhone has the iOS platform with long software updates, a slightly faster chip, better video recording quality, and funky features like the dynamic island. The OnePlus 11 focuses on performance, and it looks to be one of the best phones for gamers and those looking for speed in 2023, but it also brings a significant upgrade to the camera system, and even though it lacks a long-range zoom lens, it still appears to be capable in a variety of conditions. Portrait photographers will be in for a treat as well. As usual, OnePlus has incredibly fast charging, and the price appears to be reasonable this year. OnePlus appears to be overcoming the difficult period of 2022, when it lost its identity, and is carving out a more specific niche in the smartphone space. It's not the flagship killer that will persuade you to ditch your Galaxy Ultra or iPhone, but it appears to be the right phone for gamers and those who value fast performance.